All right. So, agenda today. We're going to go over just introduce you all to the team, let you know who I am, who Amina is from the Beltline. We'll also give a high-level overview of the program, why this program was created, and what you can expect from it. We'll go over key dates. Key dates are really essential because you do have to make yourself available to participate in this program on the key dates. We'll give you all a curriculum preview, what you're going to be learning, how we're going to dive into the materials of like really scaling your practice from 2D to 3D. We'll deep dive into the applications because applications can be intimidating and you may feel like, hey, I may answer this question wrong, or there may be something that like I'm missing. Don't overthink it. We got you. We'll also let you know how we're actually going to be scoring the application. So we'll be really transparent up front about what we're looking for and what each question is worth. And then we'll open it up to the floor. We'll let you know, like, hey, ask us questions, drop it in the chat, come on camera. We hope this is a safe space for you all to really feel like you can prepare the best application to join the 2026 cohort. So here we go. I mean, you did the first step by joining the information session, so you should give yourself a round of applause for that. All right, welcome and introductions. We have the team, Miss Amina Cooper, the Director of Arts and Culture, who joined the Beltline just about a year and a half ago and is just killing it. So I'm happy to have her here and she can introduce herself. Amina.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Hi, everybody. My name is Amina Cooper, Director of Arts and Culture for the Atlanta Beltline, and I'm just running up on a year and a half of being at the Beltline. So I'm really excited about this program. And a little bit more about myself. My background is primarily in public arts management. Most recently, I was managing public art interventions and installations at the Charlotte Douglas International Airport. And I was formerly a member of the Americans for the Arts Public Art Advisory Network, which really worked to develop best practices for public art creation and design. So I am thrilled to be a part of this project this year, and really look forward to learning more about you all and answering any questions about this amazing opportunity. Thank you so much, Tiffany.
Awesome. Thank you, Amina. She's such a powerhouse. So we're very blessed to have the Beltline be partnering with us on this project and creating this project for artists. I'm Tiffany Latrice. I'm the founder of an organization called Tila Studios. I created that organization because I was the problem I was trying to solve. I moved to Atlanta in 2014. I got rejected from every single art exhibition that I applied for, every single art job that I ever wanted. And I was like, where do artists get the actual skills to scale their careers and actually chart a career path for themselves? So for the past 10 years, I've been helping artists do that. This program is unique because it's open to artists of all different races and backgrounds. Tila is really founded for Black women artists, but I'm so excited to just serve the art community in general. So happy to be here. I am an artist, so I see myself in each of you. Haven't ever done anything in 3D yet. I tried, but I just don't have the hands. I'm a painter through and through. But really excited to see how you all want to explore that and moving your practice into a 3D medium. So program overview. I'm gonna go ahead and let me admit one more person. Hand it over to Amina to share more about why this program was created, and then who we're really looking for to apply.
Thank you so much. So, Atlanta Beltline Art, formerly known as Art on the Atlanta Beltline, is in its 15th year. I think we celebrated our 15th anniversary last year. And as you'll see, over that time, we've commissioned hundreds of works. Some of them are still on the Beltline Trail. And I think what we noticed recently, and this is, more recently than when I came on board, was that we were attracting a sort of a homogenous group of artists who were more regularly getting the opportunities, especially with regard to three-dimensional works in sculpture and installations on the trail. And so what we wanted to do was make sure that emerging artists had opportunities to engage with our programming and get some of these opportunities, as well as artists that were interested in public art, had a two-dimensional practice, or more visual artists, studio-based, but we're interested in public art, wanted to provide that capacity building support, the training, because it's very different, right? So the really wonderful thing about what Tiffany has created is that it's almost like a capsule graduate program because that does not exist, right? So this is teaching you about contracts, about working with fabricators, all of those really key components that make working as a public artist or working in the public realm, so unique and so skill-based. So this was obviously a win-win for the Beltline, and helping us really make that goal of increasing the artists that we can build into our portfolio. So that was the need that we identified, and luckily, Tiffany and all of her expertise and her care, came into the equation. So that is the impetus for this program, and why it's so important. Why we're thrilled that it's back again.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amina. And feel free to ask questions in the chat and we'll make sure we get to them at the conclusion of our presentation. Key dates, what you need to know to be successful in applying to this program. We launched the application last week, y'all. So it's been open for a week. We only got a few applications, so we need y'all to submit y'all. Today is the first informational session. Of course, we'll provide the recording again, post this meeting, and then we'll have another one about 8 days before the application close. So if you find that you have a friend that may be interested in the program, please share that we have a second one. The application closes on March 9th at 11:59. That's a hard deadline. If you submit it 12:01, I'm counting you out. So try to get it in by 5 o'clock. Artists, we always like to wait till the last couple of days to apply. A lot of times systems break down. If any of that happens, just please email one of us. I'll include in my follow-up the BBB Arts at 11 Beltline email just in case you have any issues with submitting your application. We want to make sure that you're successful at doing that. But plan ahead and try to submit earlier than the actual deadline. Just about 11 days later, we're going to be notifying you because the program starts pretty quickly. So on March 20th, I think that's a Friday, we'll be sending notifications out. And this is whether you're either accepted or denied into the program. So regardless, you will hear from us. If you're not accepted to the program, we always welcome feedback and meet with artists for about a 15-minute debrief to talk about why they weren't accepted. So if you do want that type of feedback, that's something that we do offer before the program begins. So take us up on that and email us to schedule like a one-on-one debrief or feedback session if you weren't accepted into the program. The program begins on March 31st on the brink of spring. And we start that program every Tuesday night between 6:30 to 8 p.m. It is a hybrid program, so you are required to come in person. Over the course of 10 weeks, we've mapped out about 5 to 6 times that you come in. So it's not a lot, it's about 50-50, but we really want you to get to know your cohort, build community. There's food at every session, so you don't worry about dinner. We got you. And because like the part about meeting in person, you are going to be in assigned groups and be asked to have group presentations at the end so that fostering community and connection with your cohort and your team members is essential to having like strong presentations at the end. On June 2nd, before we head into Summer World Cup, all those things, the program will conclude. We'll have a glorious celebration for all of you all. We have a graduation. We present the proposals. It's not a competition. It's just to really showcase what you've learned and how you can apply that to your practice in a group setting. So super excited about that. We invite industry leaders. We probably will invite the previous cohort. Representatives from the Beltline would be there. It's a great way to just break bread and celebrate making it 10 weeks because the 10-week commitment for anyone is a lot. We understand. Just to go over the curriculum has been vetted and looked over so many times to make sure we want to really hit home that we're equipping you all with the business skills, but also giving you some really meaty information regarding public art and how to do that ethically and how to do that with really intentional and thoughtful research. And that, hey, you actually may not be the fabricator. Like you may not have the tools or resources, but you can outsource that material to someone else. So we've really thought through about how to actually help you all think outside the box about where you want to go, and then also vision who you are as an entrepreneur and a creative entrepreneur. So the 10-week preview, we kick off with the orientation. It's really fun. We gather in person. You'll get your binder. You'll get to break bread with your cohort members. A part of this project too, we have a really cool component where there's a residency where some artists from the program are selected to go to Portugal and really get hands-on experience for 6 weeks in Portugal. And it's incredible. So our 2024 cohort members, Charity Hamadula and Miriam Moma, in the application launch Instagram video, you may have seen them. They're going to be coming back and showing you and sharing their 2024 experience and then sharing the residency. So more to come on the residency when we actually launch the program, but that's a really, really sweet program. April 7th, we'll come in person to talk about your entrepreneurial journey. You're probably in the day to day of your work, right? And you don't take the time to be like, what is my end goal, right? It's not just selling X amount of paintings. Maybe it's landing 3 residencies a year to create a body of work to have an international exhibition. Maybe there's bigger things that you dreamed of, but you just don't have the capacity to think about them because you're just trying to run your business. So we're hoping that you take that time to have that bird's eye view and actually create your entrepreneurial map. We'll go into research because research is essential to public art and creation. So we'll talk about the essential tools that you can use to actually conduct research and then how to actually translate that into production. We really have some incredible artists that value research so much. Like, I don't even know how their brains work in that way. And creating these crazy mind maps to create an actual figure, it's dope. So we'll have that. And then we'll go into the importance of portfolio development and documentation because that is essential to landing that gig. If you can write about your work, great. But if you can't visually showcase it in the previous work you've done, then you're not setting yourself up for success. We'll talk about ethical community engagement. We'll go over some case studies about some controversial public art that we've seen in the world and why it was controversial and how to actually thoughtfully engage the community to produce public art. Because it is for the public, it's not just for your eyes. You can't just create for you, you're creating for the world to engage with it. And then we'll go into writing winning RFP and proposal. How do you get through those 20-page RFPs successfully? It is overwhelming, a lot of questions, a lot of checklists, and you can just be like, ah. So we'll go through that and make sure y'all are like dialed in about how to make it successful. We'll spend about 2 days on contracts, y'all. Contracts can make or break artists and making an artist go through a project or wanting to quit. So navigating legal can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. And so we want to equip you all with some resources that are pro bono in the city that can actually help you navigate those difficult conversations, advocating for yourself, but also understanding the restrictions that come with contracts, especially moving in public art. Budgeting and project management. I know we don't like to be project managers in public art, but you kind of have to be if you get one. Got to meet those deadlines, got to be on budget, got to really think through the plan A, the plan B, the contingencies. If you're not working in contingencies in your projects, thinking about the whole gamut of actually producing it. And then we'll just have a day where we'll gather and have group working sessions and then we meet. So it's like a full court sprint, y'all, but I swear you'll still have time to breathe. Anything you want to add, Amina, or I can keep going?
Yeah, Tiffany, you said a mouthful.
I know.
But I mean, but no, thank you for taking the time to go through that curriculum. And I will just say on the other end, as an administrator managing these projects, these are really, really, really critical skills. And it's an amazing opportunity to not only learn, but to, have the chance to travel and participate in a residency and hear directly from the artists and the practitioners that are doing this work and have the most up-to-date contemporary best practice information for you all. So This is just an amazing opportunity and a lot of really relevant skills and knowledge that you have an opportunity to gain here. So this is great.
Awesome. Since I did say a mouthful, I'll pause because we're going to get into the application next. We still have 40 minutes on this call. So does anybody have any questions? You can come on camera if you like. I don't know if anybody is or not. I can't see you all. Any questions? Drop them in the chat. Don't be shy. Nope. Okay. No problem. Let me actually, uh, wait. Oh, question.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
The
you.
comment, a lot of love.
Hey, Matthew. Thanks so much. All right, let's preview the application questions, what we're looking for. Okay. Oh, this is actually a really good question. Um, is it Mahari? Did I say that right? I have horrible pronunciation. Okay, cool, 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 cool. So yeah, I know a lot of people look at this program and like, man, I'm not as established as I want to be. Or I look at the questions and be like, dang, I don't have my LLC. Answer those questions truthfully. We want early stage artists who, have a practice, but are looking to evolve and develop and sharpen their business skills. And we're also looking for those like middle career artists that maybe don't know where they want next. They've like had an established art career and they're like, man, I'm really interested in exploring this 3D like facet and I want to grow that way, but I have the business thing down. So there's two parts of it. There's the person who is building their entrepreneurial practice and creative practice and that could benefit just from the business skills and learning how to shape it. Then there's that mid-career artist that is looking to take it to the next level, and this could be the launching pad. So we like to have a unique blend of both. I'm not saying that we want more versus the other. And I can go through that too as we review the application questions. But Amina, happy to have you chime in too.
I'll honestly, I was thinking that this could probably even be great for somebody who is a seasoned visual artist and has a successful studio-based practice that's just looking to, move into, working in the public realm, whether that's three-dimensional or not. Because sometimes the skills don't necessarily transfer. They're very different considerations. So I would just say having the opportunity to be exposed to these sort of conversations, and this information would be great for anybody.
I think you're spot on. When I look at the 2024 cohort, apologies, it was probably about one third early stage artists, about another third mid-career. And then we had that established too. We had Tracy Morrell, who's been practicing forever, like so many people that just want to take that next step, but just don't know how. So
And let me
I,
add that
I
even
agree with
even
that.
Tracy and other seasoned artists that I know participated had such great, I mean, they took away so much, learned so much. So yeah.
Love that. Yeah, great perspective. Thank you for sharing. I didn't even think about that. Um, okay, general questions. All right, I know, we live in a world that DEI has been stripped from us, and we're like afraid to self-identify in some instances when it comes to applications. Even myself, when I'm applying for opportunities, this is not one of those applications where you have to not self-identify because we really want to make the cohort as diverse as possible, get people that may have been marginalized from opportunities in the past. We want to put those voices in the forefront. So by identifying your race and your gender, really help us make sure that we're developing a dynamic cohort across race, gender, ethnicities, backgrounds. And so knowing where you from a holistic standpoint is really essential to us. So ignore what you're hearing out in the field, but just like try to be honest because we did run into that, I would say about 2 years ago, where people I think were afraid to self-identify. And this is not the application where you have to be afraid to self-identify. So answer these questions truthfully. Please share if you feel comfortable. We would love to have and bring diverse and historically marginalized voices to the forefront in this program. Business insight questions. This is really for us to understand how you consider yourself a business professional or an entrepreneur. So also answer these questions thoughtfully. During the program, we actually Charity, who went on the residency as an example, she had like three LLCs. She didn't have insurance here. She had everything kind of all over the place. But then we were able to help her because she answered these questions truthfully. We had one-on-one sessions during the program, and we help her really solidify her business, her foundation, and the hierarchy of how she conducts her art businesses. And she's been able to thrive since. So these really questions help us really understand, do you need guidance in certain areas, or there's some things that you're strong at and some things that maybe you need more help on. So we really want to know whether or not you've registered your business. So many people haven't or do have an LLC or operate as a sole proprietor. We really want to know that formation type. When you started your business, just let us know when you started it, if you officially formed it. If not, we can help you establish your LLC and do that paperwork and register with the the Georgia Secretary of State. Yeah, got it. So yeah, just keep that. We also want to know about how you keep your financial records. This is really essential, especially when you get into project management. If you're hiring subcontractors, letting us know like if you're good at that. And if not, we'll make sure that like we actually hit that in the curriculum. So just be honest with the questions. How you file your taxes, if you consulted or hired an accountant, that's really key. This is also helpful because we can share accountants that can help you manage your artistic finances. If you know permits and licensing, like that's a whole other separate gamut, especially if you need sidewalk closures, lane closures, all the things. We just want to know if you know how to do that. And if you don't, hey, we got you. We'll make sure that we include that in the project management curriculum. Legal advice, that's critical because that also help us develop the curriculum, make sure we're on track for the legal sessions. How do you access capital if you're out there applying for grants? Health insurance. Are you okay? If not, like how can we help you secure health insurance if you need it? And if you have art insurance or general liability that covers your work, making sure that you're protected and how we can best support you if you're not. So these questions are not to like say, hey, you're doing bad business or hey, you're perfect. It's just really for us to understand how to drive the curriculum once you're accepted in the program. We want to know about you, what type of artistic mediums that you specialize in. So we have a bunch of drop downs. Please let us know if there's one that's missing. You can write us or email us so we can make sure that we capture your full autistic background. We want to know if you ever applied to Atlanta Beltline Art, if you're awarded or accepted a grant. This just helps us know who's coming into the program. And then your artist profile is like the really meat of it. You want to know your bio, your statement, your website. Your website's not required because we know everyone uses Instagram. So link your Instagram handles or social handles. That's helpful. We encourage you to share your work samples. This is just for us to see your artistic practice. I would say show like cohesiveness. A lot of times people want to show everything that they do, but really think about 5 to 10 images that best represent your art and that best speaks to your artist statement. So when we're reading it, we can really feel the story explain through your visual images. And then we really want you to know and answer this truthfully if you're able to commit to these dates. So we listed all the dates in the actual question. So please answer that truthfully because that really helps us know that you're going to be committed for those 10 weeks. And then we just have 3 insight questions, 150 words max. We really want to know how this program will benefit you in this particular moment in your career. And what are your goals for the next 3 to 5 years? So, like, are you feeling stagnant? And this program can kind of help you identify your next step and help you blossom in the next 3 to 5 years. Just answer that truthfully and honestly. And really use it as a reflection moment to like how this will actually help you. Um, and then this next question about how you explore different avenues for showcasing and selling your art, and if so, what has been the most effective strategies and what have been the barriers? We really want to know, like, we know there's so many glass ceilings to the art world or some things that we don't know. We just want to know, like, hey, has there been, like, have you tried to get into public art and that just hasn't been successful for you? And you've only done, group exhibitions and solo shows and you haven't landed maybe your first mural or whatever. Just really show us like your the business sides of things and what's worked and what's didn't. So we can actually help. That really helps drive the entrepreneurial journey session. And this one is just like about you and your artistic integrity. So how have you balanced the artistic integrity of your work with the practice aspects of running a business, such as marketing and finance? Oftentimes we get into contracts that frustrate us that may not align with artistic practice, but we do it anyway. Um, and that's kind of part of the work too. So really being honest about how you balance that and what you say no to, yes to, because you'll realize in the public space and working with brands, there's a lot of compromise. And I think sometimes artists, when you're so used to just creating what you want, you're not willing to compromise. But when you go into the space, there is a level of conversation to get you comfortable to arrive at the place that you want to produce. So we really want to just know about that process. You can give us an example, because you're going to have to go through some tough love and some conversations when you're creating for the public. So, and a lot of artists who just particularly work in 2D, and for themselves, like that's a hard hurdle to overcome, I would say. Um, does any of this sound taxing a lot? Please drop questions. I'll take a pause before I go into the rubric next. And Amina, feel free to jump in too.
I can only imagine that you all have burning questions after hearing that. I know that I would. So no, I just want to hold space for any other questions or reactions to what Tiffany just shared. Tiffany, Matthew has asked, he says, this is incredible. Is this particularly focused on 3D large scale art?
Yes, I wish we actually had the budget to have you all fabricate a real piece. That would be dope. But yes, it is. Like a part of this program too is going over to an artist studio who actually does large scale 3D pieces, what that process is like, what the uh, fabrication process is like. So we really want to expose you all to that, versus like just creating something that is 3D that may live in your home, a small sculpture, but really what's 6 foot, 15 feet, et cetera. Like, how does that actually look?
And Tanisa says she is not really overwhelmed by this, um, just new to all this together. Who is this program not for?
Oh, that's a great question. I need to respond to you on Instagram, but like we're actually looking for practicing artists. Um, and I would say any other art form outside of visual art is not, for this program. So dancers, for example, um, literary arts. We did have some literary arts and dancers who wanted to be considered for this program. Curators, even though you curate art, this is not a curatorial program to show you how to curate public art. This is really for those artists who have a 2D practice of some shape. So maybe it's photography, maybe it's digital and collage, like Mary Mama is a collage artist. Any person practicing in the 2D form and the visual capacity is for it. Everyone else, please don't apply. Unfortunately, you won't get accepted. Just giving you all a heads up. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right. Anyone else? Great question. Cool, cool. Rocking and rolling. All right. The rubric. How we're going to score y'all. It's out of 100 points. Um, so the basic thing is like five. Did you meet the requirements? If you answered all the questions, hey, you get 5 points. All right. That's 5 points. Professional business need. This is just, did you answer these questions truthfully? Um, are you really like knowledgeable about those different questions? If not, what are those gaps? And you get 5 points if you could use support, and then 1 point if you're already established and up and running. 15, huge part is time and commitment. Are you able to commit to the 10 weeks and those days? We do allow for like 1 day or to be missed, because we understand that schedules and years people plan out. If you have children, you have family events, we get it. So just communicate that to us ahead of time. It's just nice for us to know how to get those materials and anything in the workbook to you. We really want to know if you have a history of a dedicated practice. So, like I said earlier, does the bio and artist statement show a clear history of commitment to your practice as a working artist? Does your statement reflect your influences, your philosophy, and questions that you're investigating? So we really want to see how you um, outline your artist statement and how that actually relates to the work that you're sharing. So we really want to see that cohesion, because if you have a clear understanding of that cohesion, that is a really great way to show us that, hey, I have the critical skills to now take this established practice to start researching and developing ways to bring in and blossom my art in new mediums and forms, and whether that's 3D. So we really want to just see that. Of course, we said we, accept emerging artists as well, but we at least want to see like your thought process. You get 25 points just for the quality of your previous work. Like, make sure y'all's work is well labeled, well photographed, letting us know the medium. Don't just be uploading JPEGs. Please show the quality of your portfolio. Don't do zoomed in pictures. Really let us see the work, because this is translating on screen for us as reviewers, right? So a little zoomed in thin, not high res thumbnail really hinders us from actually seeing the quality and the materials that you use in your work. So if you only have 5 images, that's the minimum requirement that a high res quality, submit 5. Don't try to get to 10 if you feel like you don't have quality images of your work. And then 30 points. Do you have a demonstration of need for the resources? If we admit you into this program, are you going to benefit? Are you really going to take the curriculum seriously? And do you have a clear plan for where you want to go? Even if that question is like, I don't know, but I think this is the route, like I think honesty is obviously preferred, but really being clear about, hey, there is a need for us to help you provide that clarity. Um, and so, yeah, we're happy to like answer questions about the rubric, but you can always, it's out of 100 points. So I don't know if I, yeah. Okay, now the fun part. We're back to questions. That's the end of the presentation. And I'm going to stop sharing and open the floor.
Tiffany, I have a question for you.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh,
Where
gosh.
can anyone access this application, and how are the responses to this application? Is this online? Is it digital? Is it printed out?
Awesome. Thank you. That's a great question. So you can apply online. Let me actually remove my spotlight and remove your spotlight. So we do not accept emailed answers. You do actually have to submit online through an Airtable form. Unfortunately, you can't start. It's not like submittable where you can start the application and come back to it. You got to complete our application in one sitting. Sorry in advance. But we do have a linked PDF version of the application available. So you could actually preview, prepare your application in a Google Doc or a Word doc and be able to actually submit in one sitting. So we really encourage you to prepare your materials ahead of time because you actually can't save and exit. Airtable doesn't allow that. I will drop those links in the chat as well so you can actually preview and save it. In 1 second. All right, y'all don't be shy.
I'm an application prepper too.
Let's see. I know, me too. I like get stressed out looking at an application portal. Like I need my own Google Doc. Here is the application. And then I'm actually also going to share where you could just learn more on the Beltline's website as well. Oh, I'm gonna do the PDF first. PDF of questions. And lastly, I'm going to drop the email that you can send questions to. So if you're like, I'm stuck, or this is not working, or I have a question about this, I'll send you the email. It's a representative from the Beltline or myself. We're responding. So uh, we're real people. We're not bots. We're not AI agents responding to your emails. There's real people behind that. Oh, great question, Aisha. So the in-person meetings are going to be held at the Russell Center for Entrepreneurs and Innovation, or the Russell Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurs. Um, so yeah, we're trying to find a quick middle ground in Midtown to make sure that people can, and free parking for people to access. So it'll be at Rice. Program is held Russell Center. Yeah. I'll give it like a couple more minutes. Anybody else have any questions? Matthew, I would say Matthew asks, is this more of the business of art rather than focus on art or a little bit of both? You'll have time to explore your practice in the working sessions that we have, but this is really about the business of art, how to approach RFPs, public art, how to make sure that, projects are on time, on schedule, and how to do subcontracting and all of that. So I would definitely say like a more in-depth analysis of the business side of things versus then like your practice as a whole. All right, I'll give it one more minute. If not, I'll give you all 14 minutes back to go enjoy your evening, eat dinner, ruminate on whether or not you're going to apply. And I will send an email to everyone that attended with where to send questions, all the links that you'll need. And then, yeah, we really hope you join us.
Thanks
And submit
everybody so much for
early.
joining.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Amina, for making time. We appreciate it.
Of
All right,
course.
y'all. Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.